At 6:07, the house had not become quiet yet, but it was trying. The news was off. The television screen held its dark shine for a while, like a window with nothing moving behind it. Somewhere deeper in the house, a small sound faded, then another. The kind of sounds that remind you life is still here, even after words have been too sharp. Your cold coffee mug sat near the edge of the living room table. Before this, there had been one extra minute in the car. The engine off. The phone turned face down in the passenger seat. Traffic still moving through the shoulders, though the street outside had already let it go. A foster parent knows that kind of pause. Not leaving. Not entering yet. Just sitting between what happened and what still needs tenderness. And for once, the body was not asked to carry more. The first part of coming home sometimes happens before the front door. It happens in the parked car, with both hands no longer on the wheel, and the seat belt resting across the chest like something that forgot to let go. The garage may be closed, or the driveway may still hold the last gray light of the evening. The car is quiet in its own way. Not peaceful exactly. Just no longer asking for anything. For 1 minute, there is no one in the back seat. No one needs a snack, a paper signed, a softer voice, another chance, another explanation. No one is asking where something is, or why something happened, or whether everything is going to be all right. The body sits there first. It does not always know the day is over. The mind may know. The clock may say 6:07. The house may be close enough to see through the windshield. But the body can still be out on the road, still bracing at the red light, still holding the small argument that finally settled but did not disappear right away. That is a strange kind of tiredness. Not the tiredness that comes from one large thing. The tiredness that comes from many small acts of staying available. The careful tone. The quiet correction. The second breath before answering. The way a foster parent sometimes has to hold anger, fear, tenderness, and patience in the same room without letting any one of them take over. A close friend might see it from the outside and understand only part of it. They might see the hand still on the keys. They might see the pause before the door opens. They might hear the softened voice later, in the living room, after the television has gone dark. But the body knows more. The body knows the drive home with traffic still pressing against the ribs. It knows the extra minute after the engine stops. It knows the phone turned face down in the passenger seat, not as a grand decision, not as a rule, only as one small way of saying, not yet. Not one more sound yet. Inside, the living room waits with its ordinary things. The couch has the shape of people who have already sat there and gotten up again. The coffee mug has gone cold. The news has been turned off, and the silence that follows it is not empty. It has layers. A refrigerator hum. A floorboard settling. A faint sound from another room. The slow return of the house to itself. There may have been an argument earlier. Small, maybe. Not the kind that ruins everything. The kind that leaves the air a little uneven. The kind that makes everyone speak more gently afterward, not because anyone has fully figured it out, but because the house has decided not to keep carrying the sharpest part. A foster parent can know that feeling well. The way love is sometimes practical before it is warm again. The way care can continue even when the heart feels scraped. The way a child's hurt may arrive sideways, and an adult has to remember that the moment in front of them is not the whole story. Still, remembering takes energy. So there is the car. There is the extra minute. There is the face-down phone. There is the breath that does not become speech. And later, the cold coffee mug. It may have been poured with good intentions. Maybe before the news. Maybe before the argument softened. Maybe before traffic had fully left the body. Now it sits there, not useful in the usual way, but honest. It has gone cold because the evening needed other things first. That can be enough to notice. The mug did not stay warm. The day did not stay smooth. The body did not stay relaxed. But something kept going. Something drove home, turned off the engine, sat still for a minute, came inside, and let the room become quieter than it had been. Not perfectly quiet. Just less loud. By the time the living room starts to settle, the day has already changed shape. The hard edges are still there, but they are not as sharp as they were in the car. The argument has moved from the front of the mind to somewhere lower, somewhere behind the ribs. Maybe no one is talking about it now. Maybe that is all right for a while. Some evenings do not need a full repair before they can become gentle again. The television is dark. A few minutes ago, voices from the news were filling the room with other people's urgency, other people's fear, other people's certainty. Then the remote clicked. The screen went black. The room did not become peaceful all at once, but it stopped being pulled outward. That matters more than it seems. For a foster parent, the outside world can feel crowded even after the door is locked. There are calls to return, forms to remember, appointments on the calendar, school messages, case notes, groceries, laundry, the quiet mental list of what each child may need before bedtime. Even love can arrive with paperwork beside it. So when the news stops, the house gets one less voice. One less thing to absorb. The couch holds the weight of the body without asking it to be ready. The cushions are not perfect. There may be a blanket pushed into the corner, a sock under the coffee table, something left where it does not belong. The room is not arranged for anyone's approval. It is only trying to hold what is here. And there is the mug. Cold coffee has a particular honesty. It tells the story of a person who meant to drink it while it was warm, then turned towards something else. A child in the hallway. A question from the kitchen. A sentence that came out wrong. A silence that needed care. The coffee cooled while life kept reaching for the adult in the room. No one applauds that. No one usually notices the small abandonment of a warm drink, the way it becomes a record of interruption. But sometimes, when the room finally quiets, the mug sits there like evidence. Not of failure. Not of neglect. Only of what the evening required. A close friend might have seen the foster parent after the argument, not saying much, moving with that careful steadiness people use when they do not want to make the air worse. Maybe they picked up a pillow. Maybe they looked toward the hallway. Maybe they gave a small answer, soft enough not to reopen anything. There is care in that kind of quiet. Not dramatic care. Not the kind anyone knows how to name. Just the care of not adding more weight to a room that has already held enough. Sometimes love looks like lowering the volume. Sometimes it looks like leaving the phone face down. Sometimes it looks like sitting on the couch with cold coffee nearby, letting the body catch up to the fact that nothing else needs to be solved in this exact minute. The house keeps making its small sounds. A vent comes on. A dish shifts faintly in the sink. Someone moves in another room, then settles again. The dark television reflects a lamp, a wall, maybe the outline of a person who has been standing strong for so long that resting feels unfamiliar. Still, the body begins to believe the room. Not fully. A little. The shoulders lower before the mind gives permission. The hands loosen without ceremony. The breath finds a smaller, quieter path through the chest. No one has to call it gratitude. Maybe that would be too much too soon. But there is a softer respect here. Respect for the body that drove through traffic. Respect for the voice that tried not to cut too deeply. Respect for the one extra minute in the car, when staying still was the only honest thing left to do. The coffee is cold. The evening is less loud. And for now, that is where the room begins. There is a kind of quiet that does not arrive from outside. It comes from the room slowly learning that no one is going to raise their voice again. The television is off. The phone is not in the hand. The car is no longer humming in the driveway. Even the body, still carrying traffic in the neck and shoulders, begins to notice that the next demand has not arrived yet. This is not the same as being calm. Calm can sound too clean for an evening like this. Too finished. The house still remembers the argument. The body still remembers the drive. The cold coffee mug still remembers the moment when someone meant to sit down and could not. But the room is softer now. A foster parent may learn to read these changes the way other people read weather. Noticing when a child's footsteps are lighter. Noticing when a door closes without force. Noticing when silence is not punishment, only rest. There are evenings when the whole house seems to listen for what will happen next, and someone has to help it believe that nothing sharp is coming. That is a quiet kind of work. It does not look like much from the outside. A person sitting on the couch. A mug on the table. A dark TV screen. One hand resting open for the first time in hours. But inside that stillness, something is being set down very carefully. Not all at once. The body may not know how to release everything together. It may only release one small piece. The grip in the jaw. The tightness around the eyes. The need to keep checking the phone. The habit of listening for the next problem before the next problem has even had a chance to exist. And then there is the old pull to keep holding. Even after the argument has settled, the mind may keep reviewing it. What tone was used? What should have been said differently? Whether the hurt underneath the words was understood. Whether tomorrow will ask for another conversation. Whether the child felt safe enough. Whether the house can find its way back. The room does not answer those questions. It only keeps being the room. The couch stays under the body. The table holds the mug. The lamp makes a quiet circle of light. Somewhere, The ordinary sounds of the house continue without needing to be turned into meaning. A vent. A distant cabinet. The small shift of someone living nearby. Sometimes that is what helps. Not an answer. A place. A place where the body can stop performing steadiness for a few minutes. A place where the friend inside the room, the one who has watched the foster parent keep going, does not need to say anything wise. Maybe they only sit nearby. Maybe they only let the silence be shared instead of lonely. The coffee has gone cold by now, past the point of being fixed by hope. It is not waiting to be saved. It is simply there, a little bitter, a little forgotten, carrying the shape of an evening that became too full. Still, the mug can be held. Even cold, it has weight. Even unused, it tells the truth. It says there was a person here who meant to pause. A person who was interrupted. A person who came back to the room anyway. That matters. Not because everything was handled perfectly. Not because the evening became gentle without effort. But because the body stayed. The body drove home. The body sat still for one extra minute. The body came inside and survived the smaller noises after the larger ones were turned off. A softer respect begins there. It does not need to announce itself. It may only feel like the hand loosening around the mug, or the shoulders lowering into the couch, or the first breath that belongs more to the room than to the road. The evening has not become easy. But it has become less loud. By the fourth quiet place of the evening, the house has stopped trying to explain itself. The news is off. The room has accepted the dark television as part of the furniture again. The screen no longer pulls the eye toward all the things that went wrong somewhere else. It only reflects a little lamp light, a blurred corner of the couch, maybe the shape of a person who has finally stopped moving. There is a mercy in that. Not a grand one. Not the kind anyone would talk about later. Only the mercy of a room becoming ordinary again after too much noise has passed through it. The foster parent sits there as a friend might sit after staying too long in the car, after making it through traffic, after entering the house carefully, after letting the small argument settle without needing to win anything from it. There may still be things to say tomorrow. There may still be repair ahead. But the room is not asking for tomorrow yet. It is only evening. The cold coffee mug rests near enough to reach. Maybe there is a faint ring beneath it on the table. Maybe the handle is turned the wrong way. Maybe the surface has gone still and dark, like it has been listening all this time without interrupting. Small objects can carry a day quietly. A mug does not explain the phone face down in the passenger seat. It does not explain the extra minute before coming inside. It does not know how carefully an adult can speak when a child has already heard too many hard sounds in life. It does not know the history under a small argument. But it can sit there. It can hold the unfinished warmth. And sometimes that is enough to make the body feel seen in a way no words could manage. The body has been doing the oldest work of care. Holding back one sentence. Softening another. Driving home when the road felt longer than usual. Keeping the hand steady. Remembering that a child's sharpness may be covering something younger, something afraid, something not ready to trust the quiet yet. That work has weight. It can gather in the shoulders. It can make the jaw tired. It can leave the stomach tight even after the voices have lowered. It can make the living room couch feel almost strange, as if rest were a place visited in someone else's house. So the first true rest may not look restful. It may look like staring at the dark television. It may look like not picking up the phone. It may look like holding the cold mug without drinking from it. It may look like breathing in a way that is shallow at first, then a little deeper, then not counted at all. No one needs to notice. The room notices in its own way. The cushions take the weight. The table keeps the mug steady. The fading household sounds grow farther apart. A soft movement in another room. The hum behind the walls. The low, ordinary hush that comes when people are still nearby but no longer pressing against one another. The body begins to understand slowly. Nothing else is being demanded in this minute. No answer has to be shaped. No expression has to be managed. No one is measuring how well the evening is being held. For a foster parent, that can feel almost unfamiliar. So much of love has been watchful. So much of care has been listening for what is not being said. So much of strength has been used quietly, in the plain rooms of an ordinary house, without anyone naming it as strength. But here, on the couch, with the coffee gone cold and the screen gone dark, something gentler becomes possible. The body is allowed to be a body. Tired. Present. Still here. And maybe that is where gratitude begins tonight, not as a bright feeling, not as a sentence, but as a softer respect for the one who kept going until the room could finally become less loud. Later, When the evening has moved past the part where it needs to be managed, the quiet becomes deeper. Not dramatic. Just deeper. The living room no longer feels like a place where something might break open again. It feels more like a room that has carried the day as far as it can, and now is letting the rest of it sink into the floorboards, into the couch cushions, into the small dark shine of the television screen. The news is gone from the room. The traffic is gone from the body, or almost gone. Maybe a little of it remains in the shoulders. Maybe the hands still remember the wheel. Maybe the mind still returns, now and then, to that one extra minute in the car, when the phone was turned face down and nothing was answered. That minute still matters. It was not escape. It was not refusal. It was the body finding one narrow place to stop before walking back into care. The kind of pause no one may ever know about, except the person who needed it in the quiet car that held it. A foster parent may carry many private pauses. Small ones. Hidden ones. The hand on the doorknob before entering a room. The breath taken in the hallway after a hard sentence. The moment in the kitchen when the water runs too long because it gives the hand something simple to do. The brief look toward a window, not to leave, but to remember there is air outside the moment. These pauses are not weakness. They are part of how care survives. On the couch, the cold coffee mug waits without asking to be warmed. It has crossed over into another kind of usefulness. It is no longer there for drinking. It is there because it stayed. Because it marked the place where someone meant to rest and kept being called back into the living of the evening. There is something tender in that. The mug, the dark screen, the fading household sounds, the friend-like silence after a small argument has settled. None of them fix the day. None of them make the harder parts disappear. But together, they make a small witness. A witness to the body that kept going. The body that sat in traffic. The body that did not answer every noise. The body that came home carrying more than a person can easily name. The body that listened, softened, waited, and did not turn the room into a battlefield. It is easy to respect that body only after it breaks. But tonight, maybe respect can arrive earlier. While it is only tired. While it is only sitting. While it is only leaning back against the couch with a cold mug nearby and the house becoming less loud by degrees. The foster parent does not have to become peaceful all at once. The friend does not have to fill the quiet with comfort. The room does not have to prove anything. Maybe this is the deepest pause the evening can offer, not a perfect rest, not a clean ending, not a feeling that everything is alright, but a little space where no one is being asked to hold the whole shape of the house alone. The coffee is cold. The television is dark. The phone is somewhere out of the hand. And sleep, when it begins to come near, does not ask for a performance. It only waits at the edge of the room, gentle enough to be trusted, while the body slowly learns that for now, it can stop holding everything. By the time the house grows quiet enough to hear the smaller sounds, nothing has been solved in a bright or final way. The mug is still cold. The television is still dark. The phone is still away from the hand. Somewhere in the house, ordinary life keeps breathing in its sleep, not perfect, not finished, but no longer pressing so hard against the chest. The body rests there on the couch. It may still remember the road. It may still remember the argument. It may still remember the effort it took to stay gentle when gentleness was not easy. But now the room holds some of that weight, too. Maybe gratitude is only this tonight. A small respect for the body that kept going. A quiet, thanks for the extra minute in the car, for the dark screen, for the cold mug that waited without needing anything back. For the friend-like silence that did not ask the evening to become better than it was. Sleep comes closer. The house lets it. And for now, there is nothing more to carry than this small room, this slower breath, this body finally allowed to be tired.